Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of the Anatomy of Knitting podcast. My name is Erin, and I'm going to be your host. Today is, I didn't look that up, April 23rd, 2012, and it is a beautiful sunny day in Seattle, and it should get to be about 70-ish degrees today, which is a little unusual for April in Seattle, so I'm going to enjoy that, and hopefully the light will cooperate. I'm filming this early enough that it won't be streaming in, and you won't get any sort of line or anything on my face. So let's get started. In this episode, I'll give a little bit of thanks. I'll talk about what's been on the needles, what's been off the needles, some spinning, and some stash enhancement. So let's get started. So first off, a little bit of thanks. I would like to thank, Robin Corley and Skent Stewart for the wonderful iTunes reviews. Thank you very much. And then I would like to thank everybody, all of my viewers. It's been a bit of a busy week, and I intended to podcast a bit earlier than today. Today's Monday. Because I go back to work tomorrow, and it's just been a crazy week. I ended up going to a memorial service and a wedding, and did a bunch of cooking yesterday, and so it's just been a crazy little weekend that I've had off of work. And I just would like to thank you all for your patience while that's been going on, and now I get to podcast. So thank you all. So what's been on the needles? The first thing that I'm going to talk about are my Sanguine Griffin Bugga socks. These are my stockinette socks. I believe the last time I showed you these, this sock was still in progress. You see that I have finished the first sock. Again, it's my normal one or so inch of ribbing, 1x1 ribbing, a stockinette cuff, slip stitch heel, gusset, and then stockinette foot. And then my normal toe. So that's the first sock. And remember the last time I spoke about the problems that I was having with this yarn? You can't really tell all that well from when you're actually looking at the knitting about that one ply that is really underspun compared to the other two, and so it looks pretty different from the rest of it. Here's the ball, or what's left of the ball, and you can see here, hopefully that'll be different enough. I noticed that when I showed you this last time, you weren't exactly really able to tell that the ply was so underspun, because the flip doesn't focus really up close, it's just blurry. So you could tell the difference in the dye saturation of the ply, so that kind of shows you the difference there. And then, so I've been knitting on the second sock. Get it untangled a little so you can see. Again, I've done the ribbing, the stockinette cuff, the slip stitch heel, and then we do a Game of Thrones night with a friend. And so during that I finished the gusset, and I'm looks to be about an inch on the foot. And then I'll do, looks to be about 4 inches or so of the foot before I will decrease for the toe. And then I will be so happy to be done with these socks. Mostly because when I work with this yarn, it comes off onto my fingers, and it's just purple, and I look cyanotic, and cyanotic is a medical term where you look like you're not oxygenating well enough, and so the tips of your fingers turn kind of blue. So when I work with this yarn for, more than 10 minutes or so, that starts to come off on my fingers, and it's really, really annoying, and I hate that, and I really honestly hate working with this yarn. Again, this is an experience that I've only had with this skein of the Bugga yarn. Perhaps next time I won't get such a saturated color. And then the other colors that I have over in my stash are not so not so saturated. So we'll see if I have any problems with that dye coming off onto my hands. Because these are my my work knitting, I don't want to look unprofessional and have, you know, like the color on my fingers. So I'm just trying to get these done as soon as possible. Yeah. So that's that. Let's see if there's anything that I wrote on here. No, that I didn't talk about. And there's nothing. So I'll put these back in my project bag. And then when I get done with all this, I will look and see what my next skein of yarn is going to be. So the next thing that I have been working on, it's in my Camp Kip goodie bag from last year. I wasn't able to go this year due to my husband and I are saving money. We're going to do some renovation on the house, and then I've had some medical expenses. So the next thing, let's see, I'll put this there. So this is Cascade 220 in the Lake Chelan colorway. That's what this project is made out of. This is my mom's vest. Just an aside, I use a cable needle, or not a cable needle, but a double-pointed needle when I cable. So this is the beginnings of the Washington Square vest that I have been working on for my mom. It's all knit in one piece, so there's the one piece. But I'm only going to show you kind of the interesting parts of the edge. So what you do is you do a mistake rib for a few rounds. I think it's like a total of 5 or so. You work in stockinette stitch for a chunk of knitting, and then you do this beautiful lace edge. And this is going to look really nice when it's all blocked out. And then the part that I'm working on now is this woven cable. And so with this project, I've encountered a few hiccups. I told you in the last episode that my gauge was a little off, and so when I finished all of the other projects that I was working on, I decided that I did the math with my gauge swatch, and so I cast on for the 39¼ inch circumference sweater, and I knit, I think maybe to about there. And then I decided that I would measure it, and it ended up being like 42 and some sort of inches. So my gauge swatch kind of lied when I took it for the entire circumference. So I ripped all that out, which was kind of annoying. But I had a bit of an issue kind of getting the hang of this lace part. The way that the pattern is set up is that you work from lace charts, which I have no problem with usually. However, it's a little backwards on the project, or the pattern. I'm going to try and hold this far away so I'm not like violating copyright. But the left front lace pattern is on the right, and the right front lace pattern is on the left. So I kept getting those two mixed up because I'm more of a not really logical, but, you know, you'd think that the right front lace pattern would be on the right side of the paper. At least my brain thought it would be. So I wasn't too torn up that I had to rip that out, because I knew I had some mistakes. I finally got a hang of it. Let's see, I don't know where I put my phone. What I did is that when I would keep track of the pattern rows on my row counter on my phone, my iPhone usually is like this way, so I turned it to be, let's see, that would be landscape on its side, and so I would keep track of the right front rows on the right side of the phone, and then the left front rows on the left side of the phone. I've got like fire in my nose. So that was my way of combating the issues with the lace, and it's been a lot smoother since then. I'm knitting this. This part of the pattern is knit on US 5s, the stockinette stitch portion. So it's a pretty tight gauge for Cascade. I'm used to knitting it a little bit looser. It feels pretty, it's pretty drapey-ish. Not as drapey as I think I'd like, but it's a vest, and it'll provide a little bit of layer for my mom, so it's better that it's a tighter gauge. But the issue that I'm having with it now is this woven cable part. Each one of the rows, so the way that it's knit is that it's a cable row and then a purl. You don't do any patterning on the purl row, and then a cable pattern and then the purl row. And the cable pattern rows, I'm usually a pretty quick knitter. I could do the stockinette stitch portion, a row of that in maybe a couple of minutes, but now this cable row, each row is taking me, I want to say 35 minutes or so. I took the memorial service that I went to is down near my parents, and I think we were in the car for about two and a half hours, I think, two and a half hours, something like that. And I only ended up getting 4 rows done, which is like crazy insane. I'm used to getting 4 inches done in that in that time period when I travel. So this is kind of sucking my soul right now, this section. Let's see. I'm supposed to go, I think, 9 inches from the cast-on edge, and if I'm comparing it to the pictures in the pattern, I have to do 11 repeats of the cable pattern. So I'm currently on, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So this is going to just require like long periods of TV knitting, I think, to get through. And then once I get through that cable portion that's on the waist section, it'll be so much easier. But it's just getting to that point is a little difficult. So that is that. I'll put that back in my bag. I'm knitting this using US 5s for the stockinette stitch portion and US 7s for the cable portion. You also end up increasing a fair amount of stitches when you do the cable portion. That's because the characteristics of the fabric of the cable portions, the fabric doesn't give as much, and so it's a lot tighter. So you need to increase stitches and needle size to maintain the same width of the entire garment. So that's why the difference in sizes there. And then I think that's it, yes, for everything that's on the needles. And I have one project that's off the needles, which I will show you now. So I recently finished a sweater that I'm going to be gifting today, and because I'm not going to have it here when I do my regular podcast, I'm going to do this little short video a little bit. This is the Grampy Cardigan. It's designed by Kate Oates, and let's see, it's under Topper's Knitting Patterns, and you can find this on Ravelry by searching for Grampy Cardigan. And I knit the 1-year-old size. I knit it using Madeline Tosh DK in the Cobalt colorway, I believe. And then I did the Knit More Girls Couture button tutorial that you can see there, like so. So it's got a shawl collar that's done by using short rows. Let's see what else. It's got this beautiful cable here. There's different pattern sizes. It goes from 6 months to sizes 2, 4, 6, and 8. And I used about a skein and a half of the Madeline Tosh DK. And then it's got this beautiful cable here. And then I do believe I used the needle size asked for, which was a US 5. and a US 6. So the 5s are for the ribbing, and then the US 6 is for the rest of the body. So that's the cute sweater that I knit. And then I got these woven leather buttons at my local Joann's when I got the ribbon. So that is the Gramps cardigan, and I'm going to go gift it to the baby and the parents tonight. So there you go. So now on to spinning. I've been doing a fair amount of spinning since I last saw, or you last saw me, because technically I don't see you. The first thing that I started to do was, this is the cupcake bats that I showed you in the last podcast. I'd been doing something in here. I think I was working with the fleece that I'm considering using for the spackle, with the Knitmore Girls spackle. And I don't know, I think I was just not getting the size that I wanted out of the singles, and so I decided to do something different. And so I cast on. I started spinning the bats from the Cupcake Fiber Company, and so this is the first bat. I'm trying to spin this into a nice thin single so I can 3-ply it for a sock yarn. I think when I calculated this was wraps per inch of this was like 40 or 50, something. I didn't write it down, so I forgot. So this is the first bat, and then I have the second bat on the wheel right now. There's a total of 6 bats that I'll do. Since this has been resting on the bobbin for quite a bit, I'm going to transfer it to one of the storage bobbins. I'm using the skein winder that I showed you last time. And I have a woolly winder on my spinning wheel, so that's why you see these gears on the end of the bobbins. So far, working with the bats is a really enjoyable experience. It's really easy to draft, the fiber is lovely to spin, and I'm really enjoying this experience. So that's spinning item number 1. So I'll put that aside. And then the other things that I've been doing, I washed the 2 skeins of the Border Leicester Cross. So these are the washed skeins. And the fiber puffed up a little bit, not a huge gigantic amount, but enough, and still the size of my head. So that's those skeins. Let's put those down. And then I've got 1.5 more bobbins of singles. I finished this bobbin, I think, during my work week. And this is the bobbin for my Hanson mini spinner. These fit usually about 8 ounces of fiber on, and you can tell I've got the one with the woolly winder on, and it just packs on that fiber. I weighed the entire bobbin. I want to say it was like 420 grams, and keep in mind that a regular skein of sock yarn is 100 grams. And then I weighed an empty bobbin, and the empty bobbin I believe is about 110 grams. So I have like I have 3 skeins of sock yarn worth of yarn on this bobbin. And I'm spinning this a bit on the thicker side than the cupcake bats. So that's this bobbin, and it's a hefty bobbin. So I'll take this back downstairs. I ended up grabbing the last bit of this fiber from my storage up here to take downstairs to spin, and I just kind of wanted to show you all what that looked like. I know that we use a lot of terms like like these beehives that we get of prepared fiber from Morrow Fleece Works, and I know that some people who haven't purchased fleeces and who haven't sent their fleeces out for processing might not know what that looks like. So I wanted to just show you. And this is using the, it's just going to be a little crackling because there's, it's plastic. So this is what I get back from Sherry from Morrow Fleece Works. And this is the fleece that I am planning to spin for the speckle. So it's a clear plastic bag, and then it's got this, the best way to describe it is just a beehive of fiber. And so it's pretty big. It's that big there. It compresses a fair amount because it's merino. And so the way this is kind of set up is it's coils of this fiber. And so I'm just kind of pulling this top coil up so you can see. And then it's just kind of wrapped around, and when you spin, you just pull, pull, pull. And it's just a really lovely preparation to work from. And this is this merino that I purchased at Black Sheep last year. It was a variegated merino. It looked like a cow, except the fleece was mostly the brown and then just had spots of white. And it's such a lovely, lovely fleece. Oh, just this, it's so soft. So I'm pretty excited to spin this. So this is what a beehive of fiber looks like. So a little more crinkling, so I put it down. And then when Sherry sends you your box of fleece back, she includes these little oh my gosh, I'm just going to have a brain fart. Sachets, there we go, of lavender, which smells lovely. So that is all of the spinning, I think. Oh, I just wanted to make a note that the Border Leicester Cross fleece is, when I finish that, that will be the second fleece that I've finished spinning this year. The first being that Rambouillet that never ended and took forever. So I'm hoping to do one more before Black Sheep. Then I won't feel as bad purchasing any more fleece. I'm sort of at the max saturation of fleece that I can store in my room right now. So my plan currently was not to purchase any fleece, or unless it was a spectacular fleece. So that's what's going on with that. And I think that is it for spinning. So we'll move on to stash enhancement. So my last little bit of the podcast is stash enhancement, and my husband recently went to New York City as part of his work, just like he went to Colorado, I think about a month ago. He was there. He was in New York City for, I think, 3 or 4 days, and the last day that he was there, he didn't have to work, so he used it sort of more as a tourist day. And part of going, he went to to see the Intrepid. I think it's the Intrepid that's there. And then he decided to find a yarn store, and he went to String. And this is a yarn store. I've just got a business card here. This is on 33 East 65th Street in New York City. And I'll put all the contact information again on the bottom of the screen. So that's the business card. Hopefully you can see that. And then what he decided to purchase was 2 skeins of... this is by Prism Yarns. It's Merino Mia. This is Merino Mia Plain, and then this is Merino Mia Layers. And I'm not exactly sure why this one's called Layers. I haven't investigated that, but I would have thought that this one would have been the Layers just because of the different colors. I don't know. I'll have to investigate that and then see if I can find a good answer for that. So he found these 2 coordinating skeins. And I think he told me when he went in, there were like a table of people sitting and knitting, and they kind of did all this, turned and looked at him when he came inside. And I think he introduced himself and he was like, my wife's a knitter, can you help me find something that she'll like? So I think he did pretty good with these. I'm thinking, because each of these are 190 yards, I haven't looked to see if this would be enough for like a daybreak type of pattern. It might be. Probably not, because I know when I knit my daybreak out of Koigu, I use 2 skeins of each color, so that probably wouldn't work. Otherwise, stripy socks, I think, would look pretty good with these 2 colors. I'll have to investigate something that will work. So, those, and it's so squishy and soft. So, he did a good job. And I told him if he keeps this up, he's going to have like a regular segment on here, you know, his travels and his finding good stuff for me. So that's string there. And it's in this cute little, like I like the design of their bags, because it's like a little backpack type of bag. You know, it's got this drawstring handle up here, and then, you know, you can like wear it as a backpack. But it's cute. Cute, cute. I love good design. So that's it for the stash enhancement. I had something else planned until he actually brought that home. So I'll just have to save that for next week. So that's it for this episode of the podcast. I'd like to thank you all for viewing and watching and commenting. Let's see. I should have another podcast episode's worth of data freeing up pretty soon, so the next podcast should be next weekend, as long as I don't have anything crazy on the calendar, because I'm working during the week this week. Just going to take a peek and make sure, so I can tell you all for sure. Yep, looks like I don't have anything going on next week, so you will get another podcast next weekend, and then the week after that there should be another. So I'd like to thank you all for listening, or for watching. I'm still in the audio podcast mindset, apparently. Let's see. Anything else I'd like to remind myself to talk to you all about? Don't think so. Keep commenting. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'll put all the contact information in the pre and post titles of the podcast, so you can find out the website and the email and all that good stuff there. So I hope you all have a good week, and I'll see you next week. Bye!